about that for an intro. Hey, we're live. Guys, I think Christmas is coming early this year. Christmas is before Thanksgiving this year. Who out there is not having a blast watching this market unfold? I am. When my spouse is asking me how tokens are doing, that's a good thing. Bitcoin's over, is it 90? Over 90,000? Just about to blast off? Yeah. More Hex. K Hudson, I'm happy to have you guys in here. Glad you guys are here. Yeah, Bitcoin's 91,000. Ethereum's 3,200 roughly. Pulse is 60% of SAC price. pTGC is at a new all-time high of, I like to call things in market cap. Let me pull it up here. $74 million market cap. UFO, where is it for market cap? $24 million. So, and neither of these are technically in price discovery right now, but they have been recently. Crypto Stylist, good to have you here. Yeah, it's like all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. It doesn't get old. I joke that it's like, oh, another all-time high, you know, but really, I get excited. What's beautiful for me to see is the wicks. The wicks down are short, and then the tokens are just bought right back up with these tokens because people are valuing the assets. People are starting to understand what these are about. I got to keep an eye on the chat because last time I overlooked a message about a new Twitter space. I set a reminder, but it didn't work. Good evening. Hello?
What's up? How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now. I'm doing good. Yeah, I set a reminder.
Sorry, I was going to call right from the start.
Oh, okay. I thought setting a reminder would help me to jump right into the space, but it didn't seem to help.
I was running a little bit late. I'm just getting home.
Okay. You have a chance to eat anything then? No?
No, I did have a chance to eat. We grabbed some food right when we were leaving where we're coming from, and we hit a little bit more traffic than I thought, but I just got here.
Okay.
So I guess perfect timing.
Okay. Yeah. Exciting day. Exciting day with pTGC going back into all-time high territory again. And UFO still in price discovery. Not technically, but, on the daily. It's wonderful.
All-time highs for both pTGC and UFO. It's great to see.
Yeah, things are really, they're really opening up. They're really pumping. The whole market is moving. I posted on Twitter today that this is the highest market cap for crypto ever at this point. $3.08 trillion in total market cap.
Yeah, that's huge. That snuck up on us, that's for sure.
Yeah, I saw that somewhere. And I was like, really? And jumped over to CoinMarketCap and confirmed it. So yeah, it's on, man. You know what I mean? It is on.
Yeah. We also had a great volume day for pTGC.
Yes. Yeah. Tell us.
I know we hit at one point. It might still be there, but over 500K between the two.
I have the evidence in front of me. I'm going to show the audience. I saw that on Telegram. Shaka Vibes mentioned it. I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's a milestone." So here is. I'm looking at secretobank.com. pTGC 236,000 plus UFO 294,000. That's $530,000 combined volume between the two. Yeah. The rewards will be good today. I look forward to getting the data tomorrow and seeing what my portion is, and that's a good deal. And
I was going to say, since we're on the topic, we could hop on CryptoCong's site. Shout out to CryptoCong. I see him listening, and also wanted to say thank you because we're using this site all the time. We can kind of look at how that volume got distributed.
Yeah, let's do that.
We'll probably hit it at some point in this conversation since we're on it. Might as well show it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about where that volume is being distributed. Well, in pTGC terms, $1,200 of pTGC has been burned in the last 24 hours. 12,000, I'm using round numbers, 12,000 added to liquidity, $4,700 allocated to the DAO, and $2,400 allocated to holders in reflections, and $2,400 allocated to staker reflections. That's combined 6, 7. That's about $11,000. Yep, in taxes. That's just pTGC. Now let's have a look at UFO. $9,000 to LP provider for rewards. $3,000 to burn UFO. So $3,000 of UFO was burned today. $3,000 sent to holder rewards, and $3,000 of pTGC burned. $3,000 each. Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, I like seeing the volume picked up because obviously all of that increases, and it's also nice to remind yourself that pulse chain is still only at 0.00006, which is 60% of stack rate. That's still nothing compared to where pulse chain is most likely going to go, and when our LP pools obviously increase due to Hart's law, and I'm just super excited. I know what's going to happen, but I'm excited to see those numbers on that stats page and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like we know what should happen. We know what's going to happen based upon a strong history, but there's nothing like seeing it. And I look forward to seeing it and having these concepts realized, and it's going to happen. I put it like this. I believe it. I believe it by faith. At this point, I know it's going to happen, but somebody asked.
Yeah, one thing I've also noticed recently is our high volume days have been coming more consistent too.
Yes.
I think in the last 4 days, we've had UFO above 200K in volume all 4 days. So I like seeing the consistent high days in volume as the average. It's nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I can look at my records here and see where we're at for volume for the last couple of days. I'll just gaze across this. Okay. Yeah, we've been consistently above $100,000 in volume on UFO for 6 days. We dipped down to 88. If you rounded it up to, it's been about about 10 days of right at 100 grand every day. One of those days was 400, one 300, and one 280. And then today's going to be hold on a second. It's going to be another $300,000 volume day. And then pTGC, it's not quite ticking over the $100,000 volume mark. I mean, it said 100 or whatever it is today, 200 something thousand today. Yesterday was 100 when I recorded it this morning, 126,000. But for 4 days before that, it was under 100,000. But it'll get there. We're seeing huge buys come in. I mean, I remember back in, it must have been April or May, when we must have had a little pump, and somebody put in, I want to say it was a $6,000 buy, and everybody was going bananas. And now we're having 10, 9, 10, 15. I think we had an $18,000 buy come in today. And a few weeks ago, we had, I think it was a $26,000 buy. And they just seem to be getting larger and larger.
Yeah, that's naturally what should happen, right? As our liquidity grows, people will feel more confident bringing in larger dollar amounts. And then also people are going to still want to get the position sizes that they're looking for. If that's I know you really like to use like the dolphin size position and stuff like that. Well, naturally, as we increase, these positions cost more now.
Yes.
So you're going to have to bring more value to acquire those positions. I think a lot of it's also the confidence, the fact that we've been here for a year, that, we're showing that the mechanics behind the protocol do what we've been explaining they do. The chart kind of speaks for itself there.
Yeah, it sure does. Let's see. Jim Horton on YouTube says, tonight, can you guys touch on UFO liquidity providing? Which pairs you think would be the safest and also the best for yield? Thanks again for the amazing ecosystem. I can answer that very simply for you, Jim. I'm going to go to the DApp and we'll pull this up. Very simply, it doesn't matter what pair, and you can jump in anytime, Hayden. It doesn't matter which pair you pair with, which asset you pair your UFO with. They're all going to share the same. But we caution you against pairing UFO and pTGC because neither of those is whitelisted when you're going into the LP, so you're going to pay the tax. All the other tokens, you're not going to pay the tax on your UFO to pair with them, but it'll be 11% going into a UFO pTGC pair. And you do want to pair them on the DApp. And then what you do is you simply go to UFO token, liquidity pools, manage pool, add liquidity. You're going to have equal amounts of whatever tokens you want to provide, UFO and Hex, Inc, PulseX, DAI, and so on. Hope that answers your question. You have anything to add?
I think another part of his question was the safest, and that's kind of a hard one that I don't think anyone can really answer, because the safest one, in my opinion, what he's asking is like which one would incur the most or the least amount of impermanent loss, and that in turn would be the one that we stay correlated closest with. Currently, I think that's Hex, since Hex moved up quite a bit, and then also UFO moved quite a bit up in the last 4 months or so. Like we've moved up pretty equivalent compared to everything else. Besides pTGC and UFO moved up really equivalently. But again, I never really like telling people to go into that pair due to the fee on transaction when entering that LP pool. Plus, you're then giving up like your standard holding rewards in both assets. So you're not really making additional APY. So just everyone should keep that in mind with that pair. But with the other pairs, you need to kind of think like, which one do you think will move closest correlated with UFO? Currently, it seemed to be Hex, but the past performance is no guarantee of the future. That could change at any time. And that's kind of one of the things I feel like people should just take into consideration with LP providing, is impermanent loss is a thing, especially if you don't have long-term time frames in mind.
Okay. CryptoCon suggested that we
That's
go.
it, though.
Okay. CryptoCon suggested that we go look at the moon math section of.
No, I really do like this protocol you guys have been building, and I see the great potential in it. I currently hold y'all's tokens in my internet money wallet. So once I build up my bag, and I'll start dropping in liquidity pools.
Yeah, awesome. Just real quick, because I don't know how in depth you are on it. pTGC, you do pay the fee when going into liquidity pools, so we don't really suggest that to anyone ever. You also would be losing your holding rewards and your staking rewards in pTGC. It's more of just a single-sided staking protocol. But yeah, with UFO, your option is always there for providing LP. The cool thing about it, though, is to earn APY, you don't have to provide LP. You can literally just hold UFO, and with every transaction, you're technically earning more UFO.
Really?
Yes, and currently, I think the APY is pretty similar.
Oh, so either way, it's a win-win. Holding it or providing liquidity, you just got to pay the tax on it. Got it.
Yeah, well, so when you enter the protocol, obviously it's a fee on transaction protocol. So you pay the fee when entering, you pay the fee when exiting. With UFO, once you're in, there is no fees, even if you provide LP with UFO. With any of the RH tickers in PDI, no fee. You can go in and out as you please. With pTGC, any LP that you provide with pTGC, you're going to pay the fee because it's a fee on any transaction token. So even sending to different wallets, you pay a fee. So keep that in mind. Some people like try to, shuffle their tokens around. You will pay a fee when shuffling and sending these two tokens.
Got it. No, that makes sense. I'm new in this ecosystem, but I'm pretty familiar with crypto. It's just I feel like there's more incentives holding Pulse Chain tokens, bar none.
Yeah, we obviously believe that too. That's one of the reasons we're built here and have been building up these LP webs like they're going out of style. We have a lot of faith in RH and this ecosystem.
Yeah, I was a little late in the party. I didn't make the sacrifice or anything. I just started watching all the documentaries about it, and then I just got hooked. Just seemed like it hooked on to me naturally. So I was like, let me just continue digging and just keep investing and buying back as much as I can, because I'm stuck in ISO tokens until this bull run, and then I'll build up my portfolio here.
Zan, can I jump in real quick just to say something positive?
Yeah, no problem.
I just want to, for everyone listening that doesn't already know better, don't fumble your bags, because I can be a testament to, I was listening to certain people, and I was very early on to pTGC. I mean, like billions of worth. And I was trying to shuffle tokens around, like, it's not a wise thing to do. And I lost a lot. So I just want to let you guys know, those that already don't know, if you're in this ecosystem, this is one of your strongholds. I mean, I wouldn't even look to trim profits at this point in time, because the way that they've set this whole project up is, I mean, you're going to reach the promised land a lot quicker than people holding these regular tickers. You just know that. So take it from me. I'm talking $500,000 worth of actual fiat money. Poof, gone. And it started with a couple $1,000s, and it turned into something crazy. But obviously, I'm still watching the project. I'm heavily in UFO because I know I can't get my billions back at this time from just trading or buying and holding for pTGC. But hold on to your tokens. Do not fumble your project. If anything, you're going to DCA, that's fine, but just don't DCA or don't sell any of your UFO or pTGC because it will come back to bite you. I'm a living testament to that. Everyone else is talking just strictly maxi tokens, this, that. I mean, when you see your account over $400,000, $500,000, you did something right. And that could have been me, but I got a little bit of a hiccup and I'm building my positions back. But do not get rid of these core tokens. And pTGC and UFO are definitely a core token. Thank you for letting me speak.
No, thank you, Phil. Yeah, this is my first bull run, so I've just been self-educating myself, getting into people, learning just discouraging on the FOMO, just ignoring all that, and just not listening to a lot of FUD. And I've met some really, really great people in the Hex and the Pulse Chain Network ecosystem and all that. So it's been nothing but good, positive feedback just in it because, I don't know, nobody really showed me the right way. So I just had to follow people that were just kind of just here, these Hex communities on the live feed on X. I mean, it's all been very helpful. I plan to hold.
But I would separate Hex from this project. But separate Hex from this project. As a holder of this project, these projects, pTGC and UFO, you're already a holder. I'm not saying you don't want to DCA in the projects you love and you think are going to do X's. I'm saying that speak of these in a different light. Right? These two projects, I'm telling you, from $1,000 to $400,000, these guys are probably on here are millionaires right now. And they're not on millionaires from Pulse, but they're millionaires thanks to Pulse and thanks to pTGC and UFO. So just DCA into these core projects. Don't look to trim profits. This ain't the time. I've been there. I'm just like, nope, it's not the time. And it's going to be fun to watch because these chats are going to grow. I never speak, but I just felt like I wanted to say something because there's a lot of good people on here. And I learned a lot from Mando, Coach, Prairie. I love watching your streams. Let's see. I stopped following a bunch of other people, but just stick with this group and you're going to win. I'm out of here. Thanks, guys and gals.
Thanks, Phil. I will be following.
Philosopher, I guess, before you dip out real quick, I just want to say I appreciate you coming up and saying those kind words about the protocol. I wanted to tap in a little bit because you mentioned that, people sometimes get in your ear and tell you this and tell you that or try to get you to shift in different directions. I kind of look at that kind of stuff as once you build, we're obviously trying to build a huge community here with tons of value, a kingdom in words. And a lot of people are going to try to get at that value in that kingdom by telling you whatever they need to get at that value, that not even only this protocol is created, but also the value that you have in your wallet with this protocol. And this isn't just with pTGC or UFO. I believe this is with Pulse Chain and Hex and all these protocols that actually have longevity and sustainability that actually have created real value on the blockchain. There is going to be outside forces telling you and saying whatever they can to you to get at that value and get it over to their thing. And the sad truth is a lot of those things aren't actually to increase the value of your own portfolio. They're trying to get you over to that because they're trying to extract value from your portfolio. The crypto world is a really, really harsh place. So just be really careful about your bag, know what you hold, pay attention, and, and I appreciate you saying that because I see that happening a lot is people sometimes try to convince people to move in different directions and just kind of keep in mind those directions they're trying to tell you to move isn't really for your best intentions, it's for their best intentions a lot of the time.
Oh, by 100%, because I followed a Telegram group that was just trying to show me a bunch of coins, and I was so new and naive in it, and I was like, we're just getting FOMO'd every time, like, DCAing, watching charts, and I'm like, golly, it's like a rat race for cryptocurrency portfolio, and I'm like, this is awful. And I was like, nobody should be feeling this way, and then all of a sudden, like, I found these, and I was like, all right, yeah, it's time to follow this. And then every person that I've been on here, it's just, they all tell you the exact same thing. Just don't shuffle your tokens. And I'm so glad I'm hearing that, because I'm not the only one that's second guessing myself when I say don't shuffle your tokens, don't try to take profits, especially very, very early, because, you know, it's all a long-term play, and that's what I want. I want a long-term play. And with this ecosystem, it's a guaranteed long-term play. So unfortunately, you know, I got degens in the Telegram that are still playing with Solana meme coins, and I'm like, go right ahead. Y'all keep messing with those. I'm going to keep buying UFO and Alien and pTGC tokens, and they just laugh at me. It's like, you don't even know what those are going to do. I was like, yeah, because I read the white paper. I was like, I get what's the word? Reassurance, especially when you hear the people of the protocol speaking about it. That's transparency, and that's what cryptocurrency is supposed to be.
Yeah, to a point. Like, I also like to say that it doesn't matter what I say. What matters is actually what's in like the burnt LP, what's in the LP web, what's in the code. I'm just a person who's passionate about it at a certain point. What I want people to believe in is really what's written in the code, what's in the LP, what's burnt there forever. That's what the system's all about. You know, I'm just a person here, you know, trying to educate on it. I think like a few other people, just like Bananas here, putting his time in, trying to educate on it.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot of great people in many of these community calls. So I like each and every one of them. Just trying to get my voice out in these communities. Just letting you know that I'm in it. I'm in it to win it, like everybody else.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming up. We're here. This is the first time I think you have came up. So just so you know, we're here 2 times a week. You might have just been in the crowd before, but come up anytime and just chat with us. It's awesome.
It's awesome, because I don't feel alone in this world, because, you know, everybody's on the same path as me. You know, I'm over here stuck in my job being absolutely miserable, but at least I know I got a backpack just waiting for this bull cycle.
Yeah, the road to financial freedom.
Yeah, a lot of people still think it's a scam, but, you know, it's not my fault that they bought at the top and watched their stuff get liquidated.
You know, what's crazy is anyone who's ever purchased these tokens is in profits.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who's ever purchased is pretty much in profits. Crypto Stylist, do you have your hand up?
I do. I have my hand up. Hi, everybody. So I just wanted to bring up a subject that people have been talking about it, but I think specifically in reference to pTGC and UFO is Donald Trump's policy, his proposed policy to eliminate capital gains taxes on U.S. issued cryptocurrencies. So I think what's been going around the internet, what I've been seeing is that Trump is going to get rid of all crypto taxes, which is not true. It's only for U.S. based cryptos, right? So I would think then would we be able then to classify pTGC and UFO as U.S. based?
It would depend on what the regulatory, what the law actually is written in terms of how it was launched, what servers it was launched. We would have to wait until we actually got the details on what they define as U.S. launched cryptocurrencies.
Okay. All right. But if that is the case, and we did qualify for that, that's a massive selling point, because even Ethereum wouldn't qualify. I know. Bitcoin does and Ethereum does not. Cardano does. Hex and Pulse Chain, I don't know. You know, so it's just something I would follow closely, because that's a massive selling point. Because, you know, if this thing does what we think it's going to do, it's great, and this is a great problem, but there's a lot of tax liability. And to be able to get out of that is just, I think, makes something bullish exponentially more so.
My only thing is, where is Ethereum based out of? I've never really gotten deep into Ethereum.
I don't know, but from what I've read, but I read it in Forbes, is that Ethereum would not qualify under this policy to be tax exempt.
Wow, that's big. A lot of U.S. organizations use Ethereum too.
I know. So, but that Bitcoin would. but I don't know. I could be misreading. There's a lot of information, but I pretty much go to like Forbes and the more traditional outlets for this kind of information. But I would have to look more into it. But I just think it's something to be aware of. And the other thing is that, I know he's quite controversial, but I'm friends with him and I really like him. Rackham Rochelle, he's back on the scene and he's invested in pTGC and UFO. We should try to get him on a stream.
Yeah, I mean, Rackham's a nice guy. He's a good guy. But I mean, you're gonna get the word directly from the people who are here now.
Yeah. But it just, just because he has a big following and he has a lot of credibility, because for people who watch what he does, just because he's such a big player. So just putting it out there. I think that's something that could be get us a lot of new eyeballs, and, new people to join the system, which is what we're after.
Stop late. If you do not start eating.
Coach, you're live, just so you know.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Sorry, it's funny.
No, that was a really good question, because that's a very good one too, because we have a lot of U.S. based tokens. I mean, that's big on us. We get big tax breaks, and I don't know about y'all, but I kind of like tax breaks. I'm no entrepreneur. I still work for the man.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, though, I'd rather own a non-U.S. token if it's DeFi and I get to hold custody than to save money on taxes.
No, absolutely. But if you could get the best of both worlds, if there's a way that this could be, just because, if the rules make it so that pTGC and UFO could qualify to be tax exempt, that would be the best of both worlds. I in no circumstance am I going to go into a project that's not true DeFi. So I'm with you on that, Mando.
1,000%. If we don't have to pay taxes, that's no good.
I mean, right? I mean, if you want to, be my guest. So, but I personally have been spending a large amount of my energy on estate planning and tax planning. I've already started for 2025. So I'm, setting up trusts, and, I really want to do this smart way so I can maximize what I get to keep and pass on to the next generation.
Oh man, now you're speaking of things that I must do for myself, but unfortunately for me, I don't have the exposure to set up trust. I heard there's a huge amount of money you need to set up trusts.
That's not true. That's actually not true. You should watch Corey Geary's The DeFi Alliance, his show, because he has a really good, he covers this quite extensively, and there's somebody who joins the show, his name is Chris, who does set this up, and I actually have spoken with him and I'm working with them, and it's not expensive, because you don't pay the fee to set up the trust until you actually transfer the money. There's very little to do up front. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. So now you really got me brewing over here, because I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued, because I want my capital protected, and a lot of people have been finding trust, and I heard Wyoming does a lot of trust for cryptocurrencies, so that intrigued me a lot.
Just check out his stream, because he's going to explain it better, and you can try to catch a live stream so you can catch the guy and ask questions, or you can set up an appointment with him. But it's Corey's the one who brought him to the community, and I like him. I've met with a lot of his people already, so I know I'm going a little bit on a tangent, but anyway, so this is something that I think is just another selling point.
That's really good, because I just want to secure myself in the crypto world, and I know in this bull cycle, whatever I get, set up trust, and I can really truly secure myself, and then that zero capital gains tax. I mean, that's a winner.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Okay, and yeah, that's really all I wanted to say. So I'm going to step down now. I have to go back to work. It's good to see everybody, though.
Thanks for coming up.
Purple stylist, yeah, I'm following her. So,
Amit, I see you raising your hand. What's up, man?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Another day.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
loud and clear.
Perfect. I heard some people talking about liquidity providing and a few other things to do with the DApp here. I just wanted to add a few things because I remember when I was new to this, you guys answered all my questions. Problem is, when I got off the stream and started doing my thing, there's a lot more to it, especially if you don't know. And then I didn't make any mistakes, thank God. But there are a few things I wanted to touch point on right now for people who are brand new, people who are about to buy, or people who are thinking about providing liquidity on the UI, so on the website. I'll go over two things that I found a little difficult to understand, but once you get it, you get it. So the first thing I'd like to say is, if you have UFO or pTGC in a wallet right now, and you decide to transfer it to a different wallet, it's going to cost you 6% to do that. So if you don't own pTGC or UFO, think about how it is you want to manage your tokens. If you want to have separate wallets, just think about that before you buy the tokens, because it gets quite expensive if your position grows substantially, and then you want to move your tokens for any reason whatsoever. If that wallet gets compromised, you're going to have to move those tokens. In some cases, that might cost a lot of money. So just think about that for a second. And if you're providing LP and you're on the site, you'll see, if you read, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pools. So if you look at the top pool, it clearly says token fees apply for this pair. A lot of people just don't read, and they just go right through the pool. They add liquidity, and that's going to cost you. All the other pools are free. There's no tax to provide liquidity or remove liquidity. So I've added to many of these LPs, and I've been watching. I can't see the amount of, sorry, I can see the amount of UFO I receive as a reflection for holding, just holding UFO. So that's pretty cool. You can see how much you get. I think it updates every 24 hours, if I'm not mistaken. And then the rewards that you receive for adding LP. So if you're adding 2 of these things together and providing liquidity, you're going to get rewards. And it shows at the top what you're pending to claim. So that's going to be in Pulse Chain. So if you're wondering what the reward is going to be, it's going to be Pulse Chain. It's not going to be UFO. It's not going to be DAI. It's not going to be Ink. It's not going to be Hex. It's going to be Pulse Chain. If you are holding a bunch of UFO in a wallet, you're also going to receive just a reflection. So I just wanted to kind of say that so the new people can understand how easy it is to just buy and hold. You don't have to have a pairing with anything. You just buy your UFO, you can hold it, and you'd be surprised how much you earn. Yeah, that's about all I wanted to say. And the thing about the wallet, you can't be moving your tokens from wallet to wallet often, because you're just gonna lose money every single time. And if you are buying something on Pulse Chain, on PulseX, the first thing you need to do is take that wallet address, take your contract address, put it into DEX Tools or DEX Screener. Take a look at the largest liquidity pair, okay? Because these things have lots of liquidity pairs. Don't pick the smallest one, because the slippage is you won't be able to make your transaction unless you put your slippage really, really high. So, for example, if you want to buy UFO, I would buy it through pDAI. If you want to buy UFO, the largest pairing I believe is over $2 million with pDAI. The next one is with Pulse. So just think about that before you go ahead and purchase the token. Like $50 is a big deal when you're purchasing these things. If you can get an extra $50 out of the transaction, that's going to turn into thousands, I believe, in the future. So that's all I wanted to say. If anybody has anything, correct me on anything or educate me a little more, I'd appreciate it.
No, it just makes me want to just continue to hold, buy and hold. It's probably the most favorite tactic ever, because a lot of people saying in the previous Telegram I was in, before I even got into this, all told me I need to be a liquidity provider. And I'm like, well, that's not true, because I don't have a lot of money like everybody that was in that Telegram. They were all whales, and they would keep telling me to be in DeFi and liquidity pools. And I'm like, well, how am I gonna just make $1,000? I'm only making $3 a day. It just wasn't a lot. It just wasn't worth it. So That's why I just rather just buy and hold. It's the safest choice for me.
Yeah, I'll touch on that really quick too. You know, with holding UFO, you're receiving in UFO, and when you're LP providing, you're receiving in PLS. And this past performance is obviously not a guarantee of the future, but currently, like for an example, if you got in 5 months ago and you started providing only LP and you weren't holding any, the PLS isn't up 10x, but UFO is. So every single reflection that you were receiving that entire time, you actually 10x every single reward you got, as well as 10xing your position, and also didn't get hit with impermanent loss. Long-term holding though, you know, some people really like LP providing. It's nice to get some PLS into your wallet. Then you kind of feel like you're taking profits without actually ever touching your bag, which is kind of cool. So there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat. But you're 100% right. Like, you don't need to overthink it. You can make APY by just holding, and you're not incurring any impermanent loss. Then you're not having to go a step further. Really, you can just buy the token and start earning on top of that. And a super interesting thing that Mando brought up this week was, even if you wanted to take profits with, let's say, the APY you're receiving, like once a month you sold all of your APY, your percentage based on the whole entire protocol is forced to continue to go up. Because even though you're receiving more tokens and selling them instantly, the fact that you're never selling into your initial makes it so you're actually increasing your percentage of those reflections, because the supply is decreasing with every transaction. So your percentage of those rewards is actually increasing as long as you just hold your initial, which was really interesting. Even though you're taking profits from APY, the fact that you're just keeping your initial actually means your percentage of circulating supply is increasing, because they're deflationary tokens.
Hey, I just wanted to chime in real quick here. I know lots of people, we're going to be getting a lot of people coming into pTGC and UFO, and like I've been guilty of this in the past. I think the one thing that you got to make sure we talk to these newcomers about is, when you do get that pTGC and UFO bag, I think you got to use it on a wallet address that you're not accessing other dApps on. Like I've got a bag. Sometimes you get lazy, you start accessing other dApps, and there's the potential there for you to get drained anytime. So like if you're buying a bag of pTGC and UFO, it should be on a wallet that's specifically for that. If you got to transfer some, take that tax hit one time and then forget about it. Just so you know that your tokens are secure, they're safe, so that when it does come time to take profit, because that's what this is designed for, in the end, you know your bag's safe and you're not going to get drained, because it happens so often. People get a little bit lazy. They got token appreciation in this bag. They access a DApp, and then all of a sudden, all that value's been extracted from them, and they didn't even know they did anything wrong.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. Security is everything. It doesn't matter if you do 100x or 1000x and change your life and your family's life if your funds are at risk and lost. So thank you for bringing that up.
No, I agree with him on that one. Like for me, like I had two different wallets, so I moved everything from my MetaMask to internet money, because it just connects to everything so very well. So, and like you said, I'm not going to I'm just going to leave my coins in one wallet and just stay dedicated to that, because yeah, I don't want to swap them around like crazy, and then I'm losing percentages on them.
Yeah, if you're gonna eat that loss initially, like I had to do it. I had all my stuff in one wallet. You eat that loss, but then you know you're secure, right? You have nothing to worry about in the future. Whereas we're gonna have lots of newcomers. They're gonna be buying pTGC and UFO when this really kicks off here. And if these people are accessing them with their Solana degen wallets or their Ethereum degen wallets, and all of a sudden they get drained, we're going to hear about it, and they're not going to blame us or anything, but it's good to let the newcomers know that this is a possibility. And we all know what happens. We see it all the time. But for the people that, we heard about pTGC, it's just been straight green candles. It's going up and to the right since inception. You don't want that to happen to people who are trying to onboard or the people in the community, because in the end, we're all here to help each other out, and we're all here to secure our bags and make sure that everyone else can benefit from their positive economic energy they're bringing to the ecosystem.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's why I deleted myself from a lot of people that I just didn't need, because, you know, they were just DJing and meme coins, following ISO tokens that just, you know, were just keeping them locked up and just listening to the protocol. I don't know. They were just aping a lot of coins that I just didn't believe in. And I just didn't want to be in that group and get FOMO'd out of, you know, Pulse Chain's ecosystems and many other ones. And now this one, I'm like, I'm just keeping this one to myself. Anybody who wants to like come along and be here and, you know, spread the wealth is more than welcome, because, man, it was a pretty hard pill to swallow. And I realized I'm just benefiting from myself, realistically.
Kong, do you want to step up and talk about any changes to live burns?
They're referring to me?
No, Crypto Kong. He might be busy. He mentioned that he wanted us to go check out the moon math section of live burns. So I figured there must be some changes to it. I might have to get with him later.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any changes to it. Maybe if you want, you could just pull it up for the people who are watching on YouTube, Banana.
Yep, I've got it pulled up.
In the meantime, we could just run a simulation for fun, and you know, if anyone else has a change in topic that they want to go over or just an add to it, we can go that route. But I do appreciate all you guys coming up today. It's really nice.
It is.
Well, I want to just real quick go over what you were just talking about, because it's very important. It's very unique to understand it. The fact that you can sell your yield in pTGC or UFO literally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And as long as you don't sell your principal, your percentage of the circulating supply is ever increasing. So what crypto do you know that does what this system does? We've obviously all been watching it now for over a year, where you can actually sell your tokens freely whenever you want as you're earning them. Totally liquid, but you still are actually gaining in your position in the token, which is actually adding and giving you a larger share of the yield as it's coming out over time. So, you know, the only things that we have to compare is like Hex and other things. But the unique thing about this is that because it's hyper deflationary and because so many tokens are being burned out of existence so quickly, you can literally sell your yield and still your total supply, your percentage of the circulating supply, which means your percentage and your share of the yield goes up forever as long as you don't sell the principal. That's absolutely phenomenal.
Man, if that doesn't make anybody super bullish, I don't know, but that makes me bullish.
I've never seen a crypto offer anything like that.
Me either. Not when people were hyping up Flare for the longest time, and I'm like, you know what? Nah.
Yeah, I just want to point out one thing on that topic too, is even if everyone within the protocol cashed out every percentage of yield they ever got, it technically wouldn't be it would equal down pressure on the chart, but it wouldn't be down pressure that wouldn't have been there in the first place. Every single yield that's paid out is actually backed by a real buy or sell on a chart. So what I mean by buy is if someone bought, a portion of their buy gets transferred over to you, or if someone was to sell, a portion of their sell gets transferred over to you before it turns into a sell. Then you're just the one turning, so it's kind of delaying it in term. But more importantly, 90% or 80% of this APR is actually coming from the arbitrage bots, the utility behind the system. So if the fee structure wasn't there, you wouldn't be receiving any of this, and the arbitrage bot would actually just be moving this money free of charge. So when they're moving $1,000, let's say, we're getting $100 of that because you get 5% in and then 5% out. So it's 50 and then 50, which would be 100. The interesting thing about that is if you eliminate the fee, that would be in, then out. So it would have never been in the system in the first place. They would have taken it in, then out. So you would have never had that actual value stay in the system. The arbitrage bot isn't leaving money behind. They're taking it all out. But with this system, it grabs a portion of those funds and then gives it to the system. It gives it to the holders. It gives it to the underlying value of the token via buy and burns. So you can actually take this APY and take profits with it and actually know that those profits are backed by real value. And more importantly, it's kind of double backed because even with that payout to you, there's also more PLS going into the LP pool and buy and burns happening at the same time. So it's technically double backed. I don't really know of a lot of other protocols with the yield that they pay out. They're actually focusing on backing that yield by real value at the same time. Because if you don't back it by real value, the only thing the yield can equal is down pressure, which is also bad.
And you see, like, I was in a DeFi chat with some people, and they didn't truly like explain like how that worked, and all they would just talk about is impermanent loss. I was like, yes, I get it. Impermanent loss does happen when you have one of the pairs, dropping in price, and then I'd be like, well, that's what they expected, But either way, they're like, well, don't take the risk, and then you're not really a truly liquidity provider. I was like, what? That should not be a risk. That should be like, whoa, that should be a learning curve for me because all this is risk assets.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about, and maybe I misunderstood your statement, is with both these tokens, you actually don't need to be a liquidity provider. This is just holding your earning this. Most of the liquidity that's provided currently, like UFO has $11 million already provided. You don't have to be a liquidity provider yourself to access the APY. You can only hold. With pTGC, 95% of the liquidity is all protocol owned and burnt, and it's growing with every single transaction. So you don't actually have to be a liquidity provider in this system to earn APY, which is not like normal tokens. Most tokens, there is no really way to earn APY. This is why I always say one thing that's really sustainable about this protocol is once it does do like 100x or 1000x or whatever, like you hit these numbers, there is actually an incentive to stay within the system because the system is staying you to stay in the system, and it's also buying the tokens behind you at the same time, giving you the idea that there is sustainability backing what you're holding up. With a normal token, once you do 100x, the only way you could actually gain value for your family and your future is by selling the tokens that you bought. There is no other way. You have to hurt the chart. And once someone starts hurting the chart, usually they keep hurting the chart because that's just human nature. They start selling, so they'll just keep selling. And they're actually hurting the price of the rest of their investment. But with this system, you can actually stay within the system, keep your whole entire initial purchase, and better your family's life by taking profits and the APY paying out you. And that's not actually hurting your initial back.
and you know that APY is paid to you is actually backed. And most other tokens don't even go this far in thought of thinking like, well, once this person does make all this gains, like I do want to give them a reason to stay here. I don't want them to take the value elsewhere, because we especially don't want the value to go elsewhere, because when the value stays within the system, that's more value working for the system. So when you have like value in the LP pool and when you're participating in this ecosystem, you're working for your own bag technically, right? Because you're getting paid APY based on your bag size. But a portion of that fee isn't going to you. A portion of that fee is buying, burning the supply. A portion of fee is buying and burning LP ads. So when you're staying within the system, you're not only benefiting yourself, but you're also benefiting the system at the same time. It's a real like symbiotic relationship, which you also don't really find much in crypto either.
No, you don't. That's why I was just getting so confused and overwhelmed. And that's why I'm just like, no more of that. I'm done with that, because last thing I wanted to be is FOMO'd in. And when you say just buy and hold, it's the best concept you could say, because it's like an incentive just by holding it and just being a true dedicated person.
Yeah, there is a lot of moving parts, and I feel like the amount of moving parts sometimes becomes overwhelming and confusing. But yeah, with this system, you literally can just hold it, and it's going to pay you for holding it, which is, very unique. It compared to most of the tokens. Obviously, that's normal compared to like reflection tokens, but we all know this isn't just a reflection token. There is so much more to it with how the value is actually generated, not needing humans to interact with the system. And that's what I mean. It's like you can go into all that, but then it just becomes overwhelming and it possibly could confuse people. So sometimes it's easier to say like, oh yeah, you can participate and just hold. And for holding, it's going to pay you. You don't even need to do anything. You don't need to connect to a DApp. You can literally just buy and hold, and it's going to pay you for doing so.
I was going to ask, because the price on pTGC, where is it the most accurate on? Is it on CoinGecko or on Dex Screener?
I use Dex Tools. Dex Tools and Dex Screener give different market caps, though. Some people prefer the Dex Screener market cap because it excludes the bought and burnt supply. So it's telling you the market cap of the circulating supply. And then Dex Tools will tell you the market cap with the bought and burnt supply. So, to each their own. But I think the prices are pretty on point in either of those sources. Each pool is going to have a different price, though, because the tokens are actually priced differently in each liquidity pool because they're each their own separate technical market.
Yeah, I like Dex Screener's market cap simply because the burnt tokens can never be sold ever again. So in my mind, they're technically no longer part of the supply. And what that does is that brings the market cap down lower. A lower market cap is more attractive than a higher market cap, in my opinion, for people who are buying. And it also shows a better market cap to liquidity ratio because you have a lower market cap with more liquidity. So, market cap is basically the supply times the price, and you get the market cap. I don't like adding the tokens in there that frankly that technically don't exist anymore, right? So Dex Screener removes the burnt supply and has the lower market cap, and Dex Tools does not. So that's just the difference between the two and why Dex Tools has a little bit higher for market cap.
Interesting.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Awesome, guys. Is there before? Go ahead.
And I'm just sounding kind of just hilarious, but If I can buy a real physical token of pTGC, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Have fun, man. You can go cast your die and have the silver company make you a coin.
I know, as silly as it sounds. I just saw some funny ones that are for sale. Like, you know how they make them physical gold-plated coins? Man, that'd be cool that the Grace currency or the pTGC or UFO token. Somebody truly a big fan of the coin just makes these out of their machine shop and just builds one. Oh, man, I'd hold that thing for dear God life.
Prairie, were you pulling up some data or some stats? Are you ready for that?
I can. What do you want to see?
Well, no, I thought that earlier we were kind of waiting for you to pull something up. Maybe I was wrong.
Okay. Zen had mentioned going to live burns and doing a moon math calculation.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to walk through that, Zen, with me? I think you're more familiar with the site than I am. I need to spend some time on it, with Kong preferred.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me right now, but I think, for everyone listening, and if any of the speakers up here have any numbers that you guys specifically want to be plugged in, if not, I'll just start kind of shooting some off, and then people can just listen or see if they're watching on YouTube what that equals. I like to personally use like pretty modest numbers and see how modest numbers can multiply quite large with the X multiplier theory put into it.
Okay, I think what we can do is we can put in a pair address, any pair address, or we can select a quick link.
Yeah, so on the quick link, I would just do the UFO PLS one.
Okay.
We'll start there and then we'll move to pTGC next. So just for conversation purposes, let's say PTG or UFO can do or I think it starts with base pair. So let's say PLS does a 20x.
And do you I'm sorry, do you want to be on the pTGC PLS pair or the UFO PLS pair?
Let's start with UFO.
Okay, there we go.
So let's start with a 10x of the base token. I think that's how it starts. So
no, it's the X factor first. So if you're wanting to do the base pair, which is Pulse, and you want to do a 20x in the paired token target price, Prairie, you put a 20x in that box, which is the bottom box.
Okay.
And then in the X factor box, you'd have to put whatever Zen wants for the X on UFO.
Okay, what do you want for an X factor on UFO?
let's do a 5x. So this is UFO doing a 5x against Pulse Chain, and Pulse Chain doing a 20x on its own.
Okay, so Pulse Chain 20x from here is times 20.
Now, all you have to do is just in the box, just put 20x.
Oh,
And then
yes.
calculate.
Yes, thank you. That can't be right. X factor 5, paired token target price 20.
And you have to put an X.
20x. You have to put an X after it.
There we go, because that makes it dollars, doesn't it? Okay, that gives us a final UFO price of 0.0026 or a 100x potential.
Yeah. So what we're visually kind of showing everyone who's listening, I know we've gone through this a lot of times, is at this point, if UFO does a 5x against Pulse Chain and Pulse Chain does a 20x on its own, obviously everyone has different targets of what they believe Pulse Chain can do. A 20x from here is a little bit over a 10x of SAC rate, so like the rate that a lot of people got in at.
But with the X multiplier theory involved, it becomes very, very simple for UFO to pull off a 100x. And that's just showing visually how that's possible.
Yep. Okay. Let's do pTGC PLS. You want to do the same? Do like a 5x factor?
Yeah, I like those numbers. And like I said, if anyone listening has any numbers that they specifically want to throw in there, in particularly like if where you think pulse chain could go this bull market is a fun number. If you had numbers in mind that you were hoping or looking for, we could throw those in. Right now, we're just using a 20x from right here.
Okay, so X factor of 5, 20x on pulse would give us a price, a final pTGC price of 0.02559, which would be a 100x. That'd be juicy.
Yeah, so over 2 cents per pTGC.
Yep.
Now, in this, when you're using this tool, this is, obviously not indicative of any sell pressure on the way up. This is just indicative of if Pulse does a 20x and pTGC does a 5x, not taking into consideration any of the selling that goes on, and or if there was so much buying that countered the selling and it went even higher. So it's just that standard math formula.
Yep. Exactly. Does anybody have any other price targets they'd like to see? This is a cool tool, I gotta admit. It's pretty slick.
What about price target for 5 cents?
So you'd
What
put
would that-
0.05
Oh, there we go.
in the paired token target.
Thank you. 5-cent target. I think that's 1,000x. Is that not? That's about 1,000x. That would give us X factor of 5. Target price in PLS would be 0.05.
That's going to be astronomical. That's going to be.
That's a final pTGC price of $1.06 or 4,160 X's.
Oh my goodness.
Do an X factor of just 2.
Yeah,
Let's be reasonable.
cool that down a little bit. Yeah, that's only 43 cents or 1,665 X potential.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, that's why we really think people are sleeping on this ecosystem over here. That's why we've been beating the bushes trying to get the word out, and Hayden trying to educate people. And I think it's working. I think we're getting the attention of more Hex people, Hex OGs. Clearly bigger people are entering the ecosystem because we're seeing their buys come through in the buy bot.
Oh, I believe we just had a larger Hex holder end stake like 80 grand and come into the system after he ended his stake.
Yeah, just about 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Good Lord, man. Word gets out quickly.
And
Well, I mean, the system's been working perfectly for over 12 months now. It's taken that long to develop the credibility, especially in this community where everybody's so smart, much smarter than normal. It takes a while to build up some trust.
And we had a founder that was unknown, even when the token launched. Not being unkind. It is what it is. So basically, he had to not only bootstrap the token, but get his credibility built. I think we only have like I think on his account, he has something like maybe 2,300, 2,500 followers on Twitter. I mean, we got 2,000 people in the Telegram still. It's still a relatively small project.
It's just word of mouth, people want to find socially intellectual individuals who got the smarts to show it, because some people talk the talk and try to promote a coin that's really not going to, provide anything, and when you have somebody so smart and you don't have something with a really solid integrity of the actual protocol they're trying to create, then there's no guarantee that nobody's going to be making money or you earn trust. It's all about trust. Transparency is key.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I just don't understand why his protocol gets so much hate, the man is smart. I mean, he started like all of us from scratch, and just one thing after another and after another, just, that's just how it goes. And people sleep on this, and that's why I'm like, I'm not going to sleep on this. Hell no. That's just, it makes you mind boggling, with those kind of extras.
I haven't really experienced that a lot of people are giving, Zen or this ecosystem too much hate. I haven't. It's been an actually pretty good response, in my opinion. I think skepticism is good. You're always going to have some people that are a little upset they missed it or they sold their bags or whatever. But I mean, I don't know, Zen. Have you felt much hate so far?
Yeah, I don't think I've gotten much hate. The only time I hear people be a little frustrated is people who maybe have sold their bags too early, thinking that they are going to swing this and then swing into something else and then swing into something else. And then what they swing into just dumped and they lost all the money they made here, which I feel for them. But it kind of just goes back to the basic teachings of RH. And that's like kind of what I've tried to base everything I'm doing on. Is it's not really about trading. Traders usually get wrecked. It's about finding good protocols at good prices and holding on to them for a long period of time. That's how most people have gotten rich in crypto, is by just finding a good protocol and holding on to that protocol. Going back to that, we were just talking about the X multiplier idea and how Banana said, we're really trying to educate people on the system. Like, it's a big deal. Like, I personally believe this is the exact same system that RH is going to use to pump his ecosystem as well. And he's even made a tweet about it, educating people on it. He calls it a different name. He calls it reflexivity. It's the same exact thing. And personally, I think that's how he's going to make his ecosystem do crazy numbers. And in turn, by him doing that to his ecosystem, it's going to make this ecosystem do even crazier numbers, because we'll get the X's of the X's multiplied by our X's, which will be amazing.
It's just surreal, I think I've been waiting for this kind of cryptocurrency, in a long time, because it was just so hard to find, the world is huge, and once you find out
out there, I had to study hundreds and hundreds of projects to even put this thing together, because I have business in the outside world, and I came to crypto as an investor, not as a gambler. And when I got here, I realized it's just a big casino for the most part. It's actually really hard to find legitimate projects that have sustainability and longevity. Like, it's literally finding a needle in a haystack. And the ones that do have sustainability and longevity usually have some sort of early investor period and stuff like that. And usually as a small fish, you don't get to partake in stuff like that. So it really takes the opportunity from the small guy and gives it to the big guy. So for me, it was about kind of putting all those things together. And RH is like the king of this, is giving us the opportunity to actually change our lives. And I'm just like beyond proud to kind of build something in that idea, right? That it's on the level of what I think everything as an investor is looking for, but it's at the capabilities of getting it at a 25 million market cap and 60 million market cap.
which is in terms definition a micro cap.
Yep.
This opportune doesn't come up too often, in my opinion. I was looking for it, couldn't find it.
Yeah, I was the same way with you because I couldn't find any opportunities. It just seemed like I was already late to the table, and they were telling me to buy the 3 coins. It was like XDC, XRP, and XLM, and I'm like, oh well, cool. I'm like, wonderful. But it would just seem so dead in that circle. So I was like, okay, great. I was just like, but there's like nobody here to talk about or talk amongst it. And I'm like, okay, cool. Just buy and hold. And that's what I did for the longest time. And then I saw this ecosystem and I was like, oh my goodness, people talk like crazy on here. And I'm like, that's the kind of people I want to be around. They all have the same thing, the same mindset. It's just complete strangers when you're holding one of the world's biggest tokens and there's not a single community people talking.
Zen, do we have anybody else with their hand up, or does anybody else want to come up and say a few things?
Mikey has his hand up.
Hi guys. I wonder if I could just ask Banana, could you, while you're on this moon, could you do pTGC to pDAI at $1 and then the same for UFO, please?
Oh, was that you in the YouTube earlier, Johnny? He asked the exact same question.
Is it?
Okay, let me find the pair. All we can do.
Yeah, I've been seeing that video a lot.
Isn't the pair already there?
The
Yeah, so
UFO
the
pDAI pair is here.
Yeah, so it's 0.04, it's 0.0041. It's 168x essentially, and that's without an X factor on UFO.
Yeah.
So if I give it a 2x factor, so just the most nominal X factor with a $1 pDAI, that's going to calculate for UFO to be what? 0.0082. It's a 335x from here.
That's UFO.
That's on UFO. Now for pTGC, you'd have to get the pair.
Well, the pair's there, isn't it? Because you've got UFO pDAI, so just change UFO to pTGC because you've already got the address, haven't you? You've gone off it now.
It doesn't auto-populate.
No, but that's the address, isn't it?
I'm getting the pair address right now.
Yeah, you have to get the pair address. Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
the X multiplier would be the same, just so you know. It doesn't matter which pair if you just want to know the X's.
Oh.
Just so for conversation purposes.
No, you've got to put the pair in now, and then you change the name.
Okay, I've got the UFO pDAI pair. What do you want to look up for it? What do you want to do for an X factor? 2 again?
Yeah, just do the 2. That's and because he's taking pDAI to $1, so let's keep it at a.
Okay, pDAI to $1.
Nana, you need to change the UFO to pTGC.
Yeah, he did. He did. He grabbed the pair for pTGC pDAI.
Oh, so putting the name token in don't matter.
Yeah, we got it for you. We got it for you, man. We got it, Mike.
I know, but just so I know for myself. So actually, put where it says token name, you don't have to actually put anything in there.
Now you need to put in the where it says pair address.
Yeah.
You actually have to have the contract address for the pTGC/pDAI pair.
Yes.
Where it pulls it from the blockchain.
I understand that, Mando.
No.
But you know, I do. But you know what it says token name?
Oh no, I wasn't saying that you don't know, man. I wasn't saying you don't know, Mikey.
I'm just trying to get my head around it because it's new, is this accumulator thing. So where it says token name, and you've just put pTGC in.
Yep, I just put it in there. When I had UFO in there, it wouldn't calculate it, so I changed it to pTGC because it must sense that I have that pair address.
Right.
Okay.
So,
And then the final PTGC price would be 8.2 cents with an X factor of 2, P die at $1. Final
Yeah.
PTGC price is 8.2 cents.
very good.
Yeah, 329 X's.
Yeah, because the last time I asked this, a few months back, we were reckoning about 5 cents. But this is more accurate, isn't it? So,
Yeah, I'd say it must be
Banana, are you saying it's 82 cents or is it 8.2 cents?
8.2.
And that's
It's-
329.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you do have to put you do have to put the token name for this UI to work.
yeah, you sure do. I found that
You
out.
have to put you have to put PTGC and then paste in the pairing address. Yes, you do.
Right, okay. Right. Great. And I know you've already said it, but what would it for UFO? I'm interested for the UFO one. I'm interested in the X's, the payday. It's in red, right?
Okay, so it's 329X for PTGC. And then for UFO, P die at $1. We
It's
had
335, 336x. It's a 0.0082.
UFO P die. Yeah.
Banana, oh yeah, payday, that's it.
Kong's trying to get a hold of me. He wants to jump in here real bad, but I don't think there's a way he can do it. Unless he jumps into spaces, Kong. Because I can't play.
Mikey, if on the P die, on the UFO P die, if you just remove the X factor and you just say, if UFO didn't do anything and P die went to $1, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
168x. It's 0.0041.
Right, and can I just ask Banana if he scrolls down to where it's red, right down a bit more, it tells you the X's against die. If you come down further.
UFO will outperform die by a 2x. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I expected more than that.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, I can help clear up the site as well, just so hopefully it can make a little bit more sense. But you do need to input a token name because it's a little bit tricky. But how it works on the site is you can use either token in the pair if you want to, let's say there's pTGC UFO pair, and it would default to pick one token, and you would just have to choose that one token for that one pair. But it's kind of cool as long as you're choosing a token that's in the pair, you should be able to pick either token in the pair for to predict your prices. But yeah, kind of the long story short, you do have to input the token price that you're looking to calculate for, and you will have to fetch the pair address. There is some already pre-filled, but I could add more, but yeah, maybe that's for a future day and stuff. But
hey, Kong, while you're on, man, I was talking to Zen, and I was wondering, do you have the ability to do the same thing that you're doing with price for liquidity for the pools?
Yeah,
you could try and estimate it. You could try and estimate it.
So you're looking at the pool, and okay, if Pulse does 100x, how does that? What does that do in terms of the USD value of that pool? Right, kind of the same thing as the price.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting because with the Hart's law calculation, you'll be able to see. I think if I understand correctly, I think the pairs, the US dollar value will move up an average of the price appreciation. But if, let's say, you had one solo individual pair and you injected liquidity in, the US dollar value of that liquidity would increase as a square root of the percent price appreciation. So you could try and calculate, but it would be a bit variable. Like it would depend if you wanted to take a look at.
It would be like just an approximate fun mean. It wouldn't be like a definite.
And there's more. I have some. I'll say I have some secrets coming for the site as well. So I hope to try and get. Yeah, I hope to try and get some more stats out for you guys. Like
we love Kong, man. He's coming out with the fire on this website.
Yeah, not gonna leak anything yet, but yeah, I would say just stay tuned, follow me if you wanna eventually get that deeper dive into what's going on behind pTGC. But I've been looking at the system, and it's been very interesting to see. Like I've got a little bit of it mapped out a little bit. Like I think you guys are gonna be quite excited with what's coming. But yeah, hopefully I'll have a couple things I'm working on. I'll try and we'll be in talks about doing like LP valuations, things like this in terms of pTGC going into the bull market and what we could see with the price pumps and stuff. But yeah, if there's anything else as well, like on the website, we could do. You guys kind of already did a walkthrough. I don't want to go through it again. But if there's any like little things you want me to clear up, I'll also say there's little like tool tips all across the website. Hover your mouse wherever you see the little info kind of, it looks like a button, but it's not. You could click on it if you want to, but you can just hover your mouse and just read some of the disclaimers and then read what's actually happening. Like Prairie Banana brought it up at the very end, but you can see closer to the bottom of the page, like the calculation assumptions and disclaimers. Just make sure you're reading that every time you do a calculation and you know pretty much what it's calculating for, right? And what exactly you're doing, right? I've tried to provide as much documentation as possible. I don't want to make the page messy either. So just make sure you're checking out some of those tool tips and stuff, making sure you know what you're doing. You guys did a pretty good job covering the site today, so that's great as well. But go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, man, we appreciate you, and while we got you up here, why don't you just give us a quick soundbite on not so much the tool, but what you're seeing with pTGC and UFO? Just give us your spirit on it for 60 seconds.
What I will say is it doesn't look like people like to sell pTGC and UFO very much. And I've looked at some addresses, and it looks like some people have actually learned their lessons. Maybe one day, like we'll make like a nice little kind of a nice little video show, like showcasing. I don't know if it's kind of like making fun of some of these addresses, but you could definitely make fun of some of these addresses. Like you can see it on pTGC. They basically dumped the bag. They dumped the bag. They fumbled it. It's completely gone now. You guys were talking about this earlier with like these tokens aren't meant for DCAing out of. Like you can do it with other tokens have volatility, but pTGC and UFO are special, and I think that's kind of true. Like, and some of these people, I think they learned their lesson because you can see it on their pTGC stats. They fumbled the bag, and then on UFO they've never sold a token. So I think it's quite funny seeing some of these addresses and how the same address will play the game kind of differently depending on if it's pTGC or UFO. But I'm still kind of looking through some of the stats, like kind of looking through what the blockchain's kind of looking like, and kind of digesting some of the information as well. Like I said, I hope it's like that 2 more weeks thing that Richard kind of talked about like so many times. 2 more weeks. But yeah, I think it'll probably be sooner rather than later. You guys will be able to kind of see what I'm seeing kind of on the back end with pTGC and stuff. So hopefully it should be interesting.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I think, I will say like try not to fumble your bags. It looks like some big whales learn their lessons, and they're not. Doesn't look like they're selling their UFO. And I haven't looked at every single wallet that's participating in the systems, but I've looked at quite a few, like if not quite a dozen of the different, like of some of the top wallets and stuff. And you can see their behaviors, and they're not they're not treating it like it's a Pepe meme coin. And like, not that a Pepe meme coin is bad, but obviously like pTGC UFO, especially I think UFO is a bit overlooked. I think pTGC is getting a lot. I think it's got a lot of its good attention. I think people are starting to kind of wake up to it. UFO, I don't know how many people, because like pTGC, you have to break that barrier and then you can move on to UFO almost, it seems like. So I don't know how many people have broken the UFO barrier, but I think just more education, more data, more stats, and like it'll pretty much become clear. I think UFO is, I've been saying it kind of behind the scenes, but I think UFO is a bit of a sleeping giant, and that people, I don't know if they're overlooking or underlooking or not paying attention to, or I don't know what it is. But statistically, like just looking at some of the data, and we can talk about it as well if you guys want to hear about it, but UFO looks like a sleeping giant. It looks like extremely undervalued. So that's one token that I've been paying attention to. I think it's actually up close to 100% versus pTGC, and kind of the recent time frames here. So it's been outpacing pTGC a little bit recently. So I don't know if people are, I mean, it kind of seems to me that people are kind of pricing them like they like UFO a little bit more, but I still think there's going to be a little bit of a relativity and fluctuations between pTGC and UFO kind of moving into the future, but I have no idea what's going to happen. So.
Yeah, I think that's also just indicative of the market caps and, the gains that people are in, right? So the higher you go up, you're going to have a little bit more sell pressure and selling going on. I think today somebody sold like 20 grand worth of pTGC in 2 clips, so, but I agree with you. They're both looking phenomenal, and I think they're both very undervalued.
Oh, I just want to say, I don't mean to ramble on and get sidetracked a lot. I get very enthusiastic and have a tendency to get off subjects a lot, but just so you know, I'm just very enthusiastic about the token.
Yeah, let that enthusiasm transpose into you having a very in-depth knowledge of how it's all working. That's when you can really go out there and do some damage and share this with people. I love ignorance on fires better than knowledge on ice, because you don't want to analyze till you're paralyzed. A lot of people they won't take a position because they're just analyzing for a month, right? Looking for, but I think there has to be a balance between both. But once you're in with this system, it's so fun. There's a lot to just kind of go through and learn. Let that excitement turn into knowledge, because the knowledge is what I always say. Know what you own, when you own it, and why you own it, and that very much applies to this situation, in my opinion.
By 100%. And, I guess because I've just been so quiet about it in previous times, and now I'm with a huge group amount of people that are very optimistic and very wealthy in the knowledge of cryptocurrency. So it's just, it's a privilege to be amongst everybody who's very well knowledge of cryptocurrency and taking everything in. Absolutely.
Zen, are you good? How much more time do we have left, man?
Yeah, I'm good tonight. If this conversation just keeps going, I'm good to hang around right now. Kong, I did want to say while you're speaking that, dude, we're all loving the site so much. I want to say thank you so much for all the work you've put into this. This became such a strong asset to this community, so I want to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate anyone who uses it and stuff, right? That's all I could pretty much ask for if I put it up, is just to actually get some good use out of it. So.
If
looks like
any of our listeners want to come up, feel free to ask questions, add to the conversation. If anyone that is up has anything in particular you want to go into, pretty much floor is open to change directions or just keep going on this conversation.
Yeah, it looks like Pulse busted through that resistance level there for the first time after having that higher high or that higher low, and that ocean tide comes in and it raises all the boats. So it's getting exciting to watch Pulse start to move. It's just kind of chugging, but it's moving.
Yeah, it's mad bullish for me.
I just brought up two people. It looks like Lampshade and Derek. If either of you have anything you want to add, just feel free to just start speaking.
Yeah, I got a question about, I've been able to trade RH tokens for UFO and pair them up and everything. If I wanted to use tokens that weren't from the RH system to get in, what's the best way to do so?
Personally, I would probably just swap them over to RH tickers and then swap them over to our ecosystem. The auto router has gotten a little bit better, but personally, I probably wouldn't trust it. I would just do the swap twice. Gas fees are so cheap.
Right.
Obviously, if they're Pulse chain tokens.
Yeah, I'm just dealing with tokens that probably don't have enough liquidity for my liking, so I have to inch my way in, but all good.
Yeah, on pTGC, the biggest pairing with pTGC is Pulse. So whatever you want to do there, it would be with Pulse chain, right? That would give you the best swap. And then with UFO, the biggest pairing right now is with PDI, but they're so close that unless you're doing some large amount, you're going to have almost no slippage because there's so much liquidity in these things.
Right. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
This is my question mostly towards Zen Coach and Mando. Day one, I mean, you look at the burn pool now versus back in the day, you see your success. I know you guys are feeling good, but how do you guys feel about how successful this protocol's been so far?
Zen, you got to go first, man.
Yeah, I think we're just getting started. So if this is the definition of success, I think people's minds are going to be blown on what this ecosystem is actually going to become. It hasn't even really turned on yet, and it's amazing that people feel this way about where it's at. Obviously, compared to most of the trash out there, we've done pretty well, but I'm not comparing ourselves to the trash. I'm trying to compare us against the largest projects on all blockchains. So they're in our radar, and I am pretty sure I know how we're going to get there.
Yeah, I agree. When you look at the project, you have to gauge it in light of you have to gauge it in light of what it's paired with, right? I like the fact that you can have success on Pulse Chain even when it's a very unfavorable environment, even when it's very low volume, like we've seen. It's getting better now, though. It's starting. Everything's starting to tick up. But the fact that we've seen, I don't know, some people say thousands of X and 10,000s of X against Pulse chain. I don't even know anymore. But the fact that we're still sitting here and Pulse is like just barely breaching 4 zeros and a 6, and the favorable environment geopolitically, the favorable regulatory environment that's now happening, just a blessing, just in all of crypto. Knowing who's behind the helm of Pulse chain and the mind and the IQ of that. When you look at how this is built, right? Just fundamentally, I agree with Zen a lot. Because the value of the pools, they have to be dramatically undervalued unless we all are wrong about Pulse chain becoming successful in the future. So if Pulse chain is going to become successful, and I'm not saying it's not, I'm just saying that that first real powerful move that you would see in a layer 1 in its first cycle, if we do believe that we're prior to that, which I do believe we are, then how does anyone look at this system and not just see that it's massively undervalued, under $100 million market cap? With the type of innovation and mechanics, mathematical financial mechanics that are built in, when most people in crypto are literally aping into dogs and cats with nothing but, a lot of hype behind them. And they're going into the billions of market cap. So it's this time on this kind of a chain with that kind of a founder at these kind of a prices with these kind of mechanics and innovation. And when you look at it, you say, okay, yeah, we've done really, really well. But when you actually look at the math behind it and what actually
I don't know if he dropped out or if it's me. I think we lost our internet. That would be really weird. Because you guys see me. I lost my cell service. No service. It says no service. Wow. Well, guys, yeah, let's do this. I have no service on my phone right now. So let's do this experiment, Johnny. I know. What in the world? All right, let's do this. I'll pop I'm done with at the space. In the space, I'll tell Hayden right here. Give me a second, I'll tell him. I lost my service. Phone service. Okay. Okay, let's share the screen and we will share the screen and we will do this. Okay. Johnny wants to know the moon math calculator for, let's do the UFO pDI pair and we'll do an X factor of 5. Paired target token price is 1. That means $1. If you put like a 2 here and an X, that'd be a 2X. Or if you leave it as 2, that would mean $2. We're going to put a 1 because we're guessing pDI is going to $1. We'll do an X factor, meaning UFO does a 5X. and pDI goes to $1, and then we'll calculate it. And you come down here and you see you get a final UFO price of 2 cents. And that is 840.6x. UFO die 840.6x. All right, now let's go get the pair address for pTGC. Looks like you've already got it. UFO price, die price, and die base Hart's law. 167. Yeah, that's great to me, man. It's so weird when you go into, it's like when you do your own math and your own spreadsheets, you can understand it. But when you're looking at somebody else's, it takes a minute. So give me just a second. I kind of wanted to get the number of X's. I think that's what matters. X factor of 5, pDI to $1 on the pTGC pDI pair. You calculate it and you get what? pTGC. You get a final pTGC price of $21.26. That does not make sense because that's an 83,000X. Isn't that true? Is what I'm showing you making sense, Johnny? Wish you could jump up. I put the X factor of 5, pDI to $1. I've got the contract address. That'd be a $21. Something doesn't seem right. Let me double check the contract address. C1, C11. Yeah, it's the pair. That's the pair address. Well, let's calculate it again. $21. That's what it says. So, tell you what, I'll check it again tomorrow because I have my doubts about that. But I'm gonna write it down and I'll double check it. pTGC. What I'll do is I will check it again in the morning, sleep and coffee. And it says 83,000X. Wow. That would be a joyful day. Did we not do? Okay, let's go back. We'll do the other pair. X factor of 5 and 1 because it's just right here. We can go look real quick. pTGC. Oh. Yeah, here it is. It's a little bit confusing. pTGC. Let's refresh this page. Okay, here's the UFO pDI. X factor of 5. Target price of 1, 840X. And then we get the pTGC. Oh, wrong pair. Okay. No wonder. Okay, I'm glad we figured this out. I don't know how I got the wrong one, but I did. pTGC die. Here's the pair. Now we'll get something that makes sense. Paste it in there. 5, 1, calculate. Oh, not pTGC. UFO. Yeah, man, guys, I will go in circles on some of these things. I will absolutely go in circles. UFO, pDI. Yeah, I might have to shut it down, guys. There's the pair. If you guys can jump in the Telegram in the morning, I'll put I'll with a fresh start, I'll put what I find in there. And that is, that was UFO. I wonder if I got mixed up because I didn't change the name. I bet that's what happened. But there we go, 840.6. That's the same one. Yeah, if you're in Telegram, jump in there or hit me up on Twitter because I'll do it again in the morning and then drop it in Telegram and then I can screenshot it and send it to you. Yeah, man. All right, guys. Thanks for showing up on the stream. I imagine they were going to end the space anyhow. So that is the weirdest thing when your cell phone service goes gone. That was strange. All right, guys. We'll see you again on Saturday if you can be here. And sub to my channel. I think I'm like right at 1,000. Thanks. Have a great week, guys. Enjoy crypto.